So I'm in the middle of moving into a new place, and I simply don't have time for a true TheHiveLeader video. But instead of leaving you all high and dry, I wanted to talk a little bit about something I mentioned in my Shroud of the Avatar video, early access games. And when I say early access, I don't mean Kickstarter games, or games that are still in the concept phase. I'm talking about games you can pay for and start playing an early version of the game right now. I've done quite a few videos on early access games, and I know MMORPG.com has done several articles on early access games, and every time we do, there's always that person who comments about why we are looking at early access games. Because how can you judge a game that's technically still in development? Yeah, because fully released games are so much less buggy. Anyway, early access games are definitely a gray area for reviewers or whatever the hell I am, but what I can do for y'all is tell you exactly why I go ahead and do videos on technically unfinished games, and maybe help everyone understand where I and possibly other video game review people are coming from. So the root of the issue comes from the fact that early access games are still technically in development, and the money that you use to buy the game is technically going to help fund the development of the game. You aren't actually buying a product per se, you're just funding an idea, and in return for funding this idea, you are rewarded with what essentially amounts to as a demo. So you can't fairly judge the game because it isn't done yet. Things could radically change at any time. But these developers are asking people to spend money on an idea, and if you're asking people to pay for something, idea or otherwise, you're selling a product. And of course one could argue that the devs aren't asking anyone to pay for their game, but if you stuck it on Steam, I'm going to assume you're asking people to buy it. So naturally, consumers want to know about these early access games and if they should spend their money on them. Now I don't know how other writers view this subject, but me, I'm on the side of the consumer. So I judge early access games as a consumer. Why? Well, here's how I see it. 1. Early access games could just completely stop development today and call the game finished. Then all you're stuck with is what you have, which may be wildly unfinished. So I judge based solely on what's currently in the game, not future potential, because future potential could potentially be nothing. 2. I find the "you're not buying a game, you're funding the development of the game" argument doesn't really hold up. Yes, when you buy an early access game, you are giving money to the developer to help fund the continued development of the game. But what do you do when you buy a copy of, let's say, Guild Wars 2? You're giving money to the developer to help fund the continued development of the game. I find the difference there very minimal. 3. I don't judge a game solely for consumers. Now I know I said that I did that earlier, but hear me out. Yes, it is the main reason, but a lot of developers also use early access as a means of testing the game and obtaining feedback, and I'm hoping my criticisms will potentially help shape the game, for better or worse depending on how you like my ideas. And that's really it. For those 3 reasons, I believe videos covering early access games are valid. But then again, what do I know? I'm just some idiot on YouTube.